Good morning, all of you, my dear students. In today's topic is the remaining part. Yesterday, in previous class, the spotting errors and finding explanation about the explanation. This is the topic. Yesterday I have taken 20 questions. Yesterday I have completed 10 questions. That was the part 1, and today's class is part 2. Yesterday I have completed 1 to 10 questions. In today's class I am going to teach you 11 to 20 questions. That most all 10 questions I will explain you in detail what is the reason, what is the cause to select the to select the right answer, and what is the error or mistake in the given sentence. First of all, we find error, and then what is the right answer is there. I will explain you in detail. My dear students, please listen carefully. 11th one, first one is here the sentence they have written the sentence. There is a warm country. Warm is an adjective. It comes before a noun and describes about the country. There is a warm country. Generally, there is a introducing word. Here in this sentence there is an adverb of place. Here and there are both opposite words. Then generally the sentence start with the subject. In subject place, in non-living being, it or that may be there. And here there is an adverb. If you consider, there may be a introducing word, a dummy word also. But here the adverb, the sentence start with the adverb. That indicates place. This is the adverb of the place. An adverb should not be the subject of the sentence. It should not be the subject of the sentence. Instead we use it as the subject. We should use it. It is a warm country. We should use this pronoun. It is a warm country. Or another pronoun may be used, demonstrative pronoun. That is a warm country. That is a warm country. In the subject place, pronoun may be there or noun may be there, but adverb is not suitable here. That is the error in this sentence, my dear students. Please understand. And we go to the second one. We go to the second one, my dear students. Second one. Okay, sorry. Okay. This is the second one. I have not an iPhone. Here the have is there. We are discussing the verb have. Have is a verb, functions as a main verb or helping verb. Main verb or helping verb. For example, you should understand, my dear students, have is have forms, do forms and be forms. That is primary auxiliary verbs. Primary auxiliary verbs. For example, the verb have can be an auxiliary verb or main verb in English. Auxiliary verb means helping verb, main verb or principal verb. Here the verb did have been used as a main verb, not a helping verb. How do you know? For example, helping verb in present perfect tense, I have seen him just now. I have seen him just now. Have is a helping verb. See, saw, seen is a main verb. In this context, this is a helping verb. That means have is a helping verb here, but in this context, have, the meaning of have is possession. 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 The verb have possession. Present simple in affirmative, for example, I have a new bike. This is a positive sentence. Affirmative sentence. For example, the same sentence, we should write negative sentence. I have a new bike is a positive affirmative sentence. If you write negative sentence, the same one, I don't have. In simple present tense, don't, do plus V1. Don't have. I don't have new bike. I don't have new bike. We should use in simple present tense, I don't have new bike. The right answer is, I don't have an iPhone. I don't have an iPhone. I do not have. Expansion form is, it is a contracted form. I don't have an iPhone is the right answer. I have not an iPhone is a grammatically is not a correct sentence. In positive sentence, I have an iPhone. In negative sentence, I don't have an iPhone. That is the explanation of this one, my dear students. Please try to understand. And then we go to the 13th one. This one is haven't ever been Korea. Haven't ever been Korea. That means in present perfect tense, the sentence is given in present perfect tense. Here, ever and never both are important in present perfect tense. While using the ever and never are both are important. For example, students should understand, I have ever been. What is the reason, main reason here? Ever. I have ever been. I have never been to Korea. Only used with present perfect. Ever and never. Usually we are using ever and never. And then the explanation of this sentence is, present perfect tense is used to express. Why do you use the present perfect tense? What is the uses of present perfect tense? An action happened in the past. That is one thing. Has recently been completed. Recently. Just now. Recently been completed. Or is continuing to the present also. Continuing present. But present perfect tense is implies an unspecified time. There is no time here. Unspecified time. Unspecified time. An action happened in the past, it implies an unspecified time. We cannot use the present perfect with a specific time expression or time. In the past action, they have given specific time. We should not use present perfect tense. Unspecific time, only we should use the present perfect tense. Unspecific. When did I have been? When did I go there to Korea? We don't know. There is no specific time here. I haven't ever been to Korea. This is the sentence we have to use. Here time adverbs. Time adverbs we have used. Time, what are the time? This is an adverb, time adverb. Time adverbs, unspecific time adverbs, these are called. What are these unspecific time adverbs? Ever, never, yet also, unspecific time. Already also. Already, ever, never, yet. These are unspecific time. Yet, not yet. Yet is a preposition. Here, ever means, what is the meaning of ever? What is the meaning of ever? Ever means at any time. Ever means at any time. Ever means at any time. What is the meaning of never? Never means at no time. No time. Never means never. Never means at no time, not any time. It is opposite. Ever, never is opposite words. We often used ever and never with the present perfect tense. These words should be used in present perfect tense. Adverb, unspecific time of adverb. Adverb, unspecific time of adverb. Ever, never, yet, already. But you should understand, I have never been to, I have, ever is generally not used in affirmative sentence. It is not used in a affirmative sentence. And ever is used in negative sentence. Negative sentence. Sometimes to express a doubt, to ask someone. Here the answer. The answer of this question is, what is the answer? I have not been to Korea. I have not been Korea. I have not been Korea. We should not use ever. Double negative will be there. I have not been Korea means I never went to Korea and come back. I have never seen the Korea. That is one type of the answer. I have not been to Korea. It is a general thing. And using the negative sentence, we should use I have never been to Korea. That is the right answer. I have never, not ever, never been to Korea. Never been to Korea. We should use never instead of ever. We should not use negative sentence also. If you want to negative, I have not ever been to Korea, we should delete the ever. That is the right answer. I have not been Korea. We should use a negative sentence, never. I have never been to Korea. I have never been to Korea is the right answer. We should not use ever at unspecific time. It is a negative, it gives negative statement. I have never been to Korea means I didn't go to Korea. I didn't see the Korea. That is the meaning of the sentence. The students should understand, and they have some knowledge about some of the adverbial times. Adverbial times, we have more knowledge. We should understand to this one. We have more knowledge. We should have more knowledge to this topic to understand, my dear students. That is right answer. And we go to the next question. For example, I have never been to Brazil. To avoid double negative, I have not been Brazil. I have not ever been Brazil. It comes to double negatives. We should not use negative sentence. Never indicates the negative sentence. I have never been to Korea. And then we go to the next one, my dear students. That one is the students. Okay, sorry. Okay. The students have a good time in class today. Have a good time. We discuss have here. The students have a good time in class today. The student have a good time in class today. That means some verbs can be both stative and action verbs. Generally have is a have forms. It is an auxiliary verb, have, has, had. But here we are using as a stative verb. Stative verbs. Already we have known of the stative verbs. Stative verbs. Stative verbs, what is the function of the stative verb? It is not helping verb here. It functions as a stative verb. Stative verbs are verbs that express a state rather than action. Only a state, a condition rather than action. We should, rather than action, we state our condition. This one is, we should understand. State verbs are verbs that expresses state rather than action. These state verbs did not express action. They usually relate to thoughts, emotions, and thoughts, emotions, and relationships, senses, senses. These are the functions of the state verbs. These verbs are not usually used with progressive tense. Generally, they are not used with state verbs, progressive tense. What is the meaning of progressive tense? Progressive tense means present continuous tense, present continuous tense, past continuous tense, future continuous. We should not use state verb in continuous tenses. That means progressive tenses. But even though they may take on time expressions such as now, at the moment, today, time expression. Time expression is there. It is the key word. We use the progressive tense in this year. We should use progressive tense in this occasion. When they may take an time expression such as now, at this moment, today. In this time, we use progressive tense, not a simple present tense. Progressive tense, not a simple present tense. For example, we should stative verbs. What are the stative? Some of the stative I will explain. Appear is a stative verb. Like, dislike is a stative verb. Hate, love is a stative verb. Realize, promise, taste, touch, smell, think, feel, doubt, agree, disagree. These are all called stative verbs. Generally, they are not using in progressive tense. In some occasions, it may be used in progressive sense, such as time expressions. Now, at this moment, at that time, today, on that time, we use progressive tense. And for example, he is having lunch. He is having lunch with her sister. He is having lunch with her sister means, what is the meaning here? It is an activity is going on. It functions at not a state verb. It functions as an active verb. It denotes the action. Action means he is having lunch with her sister means he is eating lunch with your sister. Eating action is going on. In this time, we use state verbs functions as action verb. That is more important, my dear student. The meaning of these verbs then different. For example, I have a car. I have a car. It is a state verb, possessive case. I am having bath. I am taking bath means. Having bath means in bathroom. I am having bath means I am taking bath activity. That is, in some situations we are using continuous tense as a state verb. Generally they are not used in progressive tense. For example, I think you are perfect. I think you are perfect. Perfect. I think you are perfect. Think is a state verb. We should not use in continuous progressive tense. Meaning is my opinion. My opinion is you are perfect. It is a mental aspect. That same sentence, the same sentence. I am thinking, thinking about. I am thinking about buying a new house. Buying a new house. Buying a new bike. It is a action verb. I am thinking in the. That's why today at this moment. On that time, we use the state verbs functions as a active verb. That's why, what is the answer here in 14th? What is the answer here? We should understand. The students are having. The students are having a good time in class today. That is the right answer. At this moment, they are having a good time in class today. That is the right answer, my dear students. And we go to next 15th question. Please understand 15th questions. Here John probably is not going to come to school. Here the sentence is John probably is not going to come to school tomorrow. What is the meaning of this sentence? Going to structure. Not negative sentence. He may not come to school tomorrow. John probably not going to school. Going to school structure. We are using the going to school structure. What is the going to school structure? How to use that sentence? John probably means here the prediction probably he may come or not. John may come or not. It is imaginary prediction. On the time we should not use going to structure. When do we use going to structure, my dear students? We use going to talk about future plans, intentions. Usually the decision about the future plans have already been made. Decision. Decision already taken. That the in future plans already been made. Specific time you have taken the decision. On the times going to structure we have to use. That is the rule. We use going to talk about future plans and intentions and decisions already been taken decision. On that time we are using the going to. Otherwise we should not going to. It is a prediction. Probably is there prediction. In that time we use the modal verb prediction. We should use the modal verb prediction. Will. We should use will. Willn't. Will not. This is a contract form. Won't. Not willn't. Will plus not. We should pronounce won't. This verb is modal verb should be used for the prediction. We have already, I made a class on modal verbs. Please watch those videos also. And then here, will is a modal verb. Will is a modal verb. Will is a modal verb used in the promises, voluntary actions that take place in the future. In the future. And then also future prediction. Future prediction. Prediction means imagine, which is going to be happen. For example, my friend will be there by 8 a.m. tomorrow. That is the prediction. My friend will be there. My friend will be there by 8 a.m. By 8 a.m. tomorrow. By 8 a.m. tomorrow. My friend will be there. This is a prediction. The will is used. Future action prediction. And another use of the will is voluntary actions. Promises. For example, it tells about I will explain you a modal verb will, a brief explanation. Here, I promise, example, I promise, P-R-O-M-I-S-E, promise. Okay, sorry, P-R-O-M-I-S-E. I promise that I will write you every single day. That I will write you. I will write you. I will write you. I promise that I will write you every single day. I will write you letter every single day. I promise. It is promise. I will write. That is the promise. Will used for promise. I will make dinner tonight. I will make dinner. I will make dinner tonight. This is the voluntary action. I myself tell you, I will make dinner tonight. Will make. And then next one is, he thinks it will rain tomorrow. For example, he thinks it will rain tomorrow. It is R-A-N, rain tomorrow. It will rain tomorrow. I think. He thinks it will rain tomorrow. It is a prediction. That's why John probably won't come. John probably won't come. John probably will not come to school tomorrow. That is the right answer. That is the right answer. We should use modal verb. He is not going to come. He is not. Instead of, we should John probably won't come to school tomorrow. That is the right answer, my dear students. Please understand. And then we go to the next question, the 5th one, 16th one. What is the 16th one? If clause. If the world ended. If the world ended. Type 2, second condition. I will be very sad. Instead of will, would plus V1. That is the right answer. If the subordinate clause or conditional clause, in second condition, the main clause also would plus V1, could plus V1, should plus V1, might plus V1, based on the context. This is the if clause second condition. Already I made a video on if clause. Please watch this video, my dear student. If clause. If clause, if the world ended, it is a verb. End is a verb, ended. It is a conditional clause. It is a subordinate clause. It gives incomplete meaning. If the world ended tomorrow, on that condition, I will be very sad. I felt very sad. I will be very sad. Second condition refers to unlikely hypothetical condition. Hypothetical condition. Hypothetical. Hypothetical means imagining. It is used to talk about imaginary situation. That means simple past tense plus would plus V1. Simple past tense spread would plus V1 we should use. For example, in B form, how do you use? If I were you, I wouldn't trust him. I would not trust him. Trust. I wouldn't trust him. If I were you, I wouldn't trust him. Were, simple past tense. Wouldn't trust me. Would plus trust V1. This is the second condition, imaginary condition, hypothetical condition. We should use here instead of I would. What is the answer? I would be very sad. Not I will be very sad. I would be very sad. That is the right answer, my dear students. Here the answer is instead of will, we should use would. It is a if clause second condition. Please remember, my dear students. And then we go to the 17th one. What is the 17th one, my dear student? I still did my homework at 10:30 p.m. last night. It already completed action. It already completed action. In certain period it has been going on. Still, it is a keyword. I did my homework, that is okay. Still, it is an adverb of time. Up to. We should use a past continuous tense, not a simple past tense. In this situation, still is a keyword, and last night. Based on this keyword, we should understand, we should not use a simple past tense, we should use only past continuous tense. Here, I was still doing my homework at 10:30 p.m. last night. Why? Because it refers to the continuing action or state that was happening at some point in the past. Some point in the past. Up to that time it has been going on. It had been going on, that activity. I was still doing. That the right answer is I was still doing. Past continuous tense. Still comes before the main verb, after the helping verb. This adverb of time. I was still doing my homework. Instead of did at 10:30 p.m. last night. It is the past continuous tense, past progressive tense. It refers to a continuing action or state that was happening at same point in the past time. That is the right answer, by the students. And then we go to the next question. He can speak Japanese because he was born in Canada. This is the subordinate conjunction. This conjunction, because, when do you use because? We should not use this conjunction in this context. He can speak Japanese. What is the conjunction subordinate conjunction we have to use? It is a subordinate clause. When do we use because? Because introduces clauses of cause and reason. Cause and reason. It is, on that time we have to use because. It is a subordinate conjunction. It needs a main clause to make the complete meaning. That is okay. She did not go to the market. For example, I will write you because sentence using the because subordinate conjunction. What is the example sentence? I will write you one example. She did not go to the market. She did not go to the market, comma. Because she was feeling sick. Because, we should not put the comma if the conjunction is there. Because what happened? She was feeling ill. ill. She was feeling ill. Because she was feeling ill. She did not go to the market because she was feeling ill, feeling sick. That's why reason he did not go to the market in that context. But here we should use not because, we should use although. He can speak Japanese although he was born in Canada. Although he was born in Canada, he did not know Japanese, but he can speak in Japanese. He is living in Canada, Canadian language he is speaking. But he was born, although he was born in Canada, he can speak Japanese. That means although, even though, THOUGH, even though, or though, these are all subordinate conjunction. They introduced a dependent clause. They are mostly they are same meaning. But even though, although, and comparing, even though is more emphatic. That's why I should write even, even though is more emphatic. Though, although and even though are subordinate conjunctions, they are, that meaning is, they are almost all identical meaning. Almost all identical meaning or same meaning. Although, even though, though. What is the meaning of in spite of? Phrase preposition. In spite of, compound preposition. In spite of. The meaning of although, even though, in spite of. That is the meaning. Although, even though, though. But although is more emphatic than though and more emphatic. Even though is more emphatic. Here we should use even though. He can speak Japanese even though he was born in Canada. That is the right answer. For example, the soldiers went on fighting. The soldiers went on fighting. Even though they badly injured. Even though they badly injured. Even though they badly injured, they suffered. The soldiers went on fighting. Then they don't afraid. Then they don't feel fear. Even though they are badly injured, the soldiers went on fighting. On that time we use the even though and though, although. That is the explanation, my dear student. And 19th one, from last second one, 19th one. Lee afraid of snakes. Afraid, what is the, Lee is a proper noun. Afraid is an adjective. Afraid of snakes. What is the meaning of afraid? Afraid means fear. Feeling of worrying about the possible result of a particular situation. Feeling of worrying. Why did he worry or fear? Why did he worry? The possible results, about the possible results of a particular situation. That is, we should use afraid. Afraid means fear. It functions an adjective. But this adjective has been used in different two ways. One is predicative adjective. Predicatively used, and number two is attributively used. We are using adjective in two ways in a sentence to construct the sentence. To construct the sentence in two ways. For example, you should understand she is good. It is predicative used, predicate verb follow. She is good. But she is a good girl. She is a good girl. It comes before a noun. It is attributively used here. Both are same meaning. But the same adjective has been predicatively used. It is predicative adjective. It comes after the predicate. And also it does not come before the noun. It places before a noun. It is attributive adjective or attributive used. But afraid is always used as predicative. Here the verb has been missed. Lee is afraid of snakes. We should use verb instead of subject takes singular noun takes singular verb. For example, afraid is also used politely introduced, behaves politely, used politely introduced. Adjectives consider. For example, I am afraid you have completely misunderstood the question. I don't agree at all. I am afraid. Used to politely introduce bad news. This afraid comes in a language function also. If you notice a bad news to our notice, on that time the meaning of afraid is not fear. It is politely introducing ourselves. On that time, on that context, it is not the meaning of fear or worry. For example, one person has given the one suggestion and advice. On that time, we should I did not agree. I did not agree at all. I did not agree at all. On that time, politely we deny that decision. How to express in language function? I am afraid. I am afraid. Not means afraid means not fear here. It is politely denying that particular suggestion or advice. That must be you should understand, my dear students. Here adjective is the child was afraid. The child was, for example, the child is afraid. The child is afraid. AFRAID, afraid. The child is afraid of snakes. The Lee is afraid of snakes. It is a attribute used adjective. We should not use he was. For example, he is an afraid child. Afraid child. It is a wrong construction. We should not predicate, you should not attributively used adjective. We should use predicative adjective. Lee is afraid of snake. That is the explanation, my dear student. And we go to the last one, that is the 20th one. The students were not interested in the lesson because it was bored. Here it was bored. They have written it was bored. What is the mistake here? If you see the sentence, all the sentence, the entire sentence should be right. We feel the students, it is a plural noun. Were past tense, plural noun takes were not was. The students were not interested in. Interested takes, the verb takes interested in, it takes appropriate preposition in. That is the right one. There is no mistake here. The students were not interested in the lesson because it was bored. Why? Because they are interested, not interested, it was bored. This construction is more important, my dear. It was bored. It was bored means what is the meaning of it was bored? What is the right answer here? What is the right answer? Tell me, all of you. Anyone who tell me the right answer? The right answer is bored, participle. These are called participle adjectives. In English language, some of the participle adjectives are there. What are the participle adjectives in English language? Interesting, interested. And what is the another participle phrases are there? Adjectives. Exciting, excited, excited. It is not a verb. Some participles, present participle or past participle may be function as adjectives in English language. Here bored is an adjective, not a verb. Boring is also adjective. It is a present participle, it is a past participle. But students should understand. What do you understand, the students? Before going to answer this question, I will explain you. An explanation can be boring or bored. Interesting or interested. They are participles, adjectives, not prepositions, sorry. Participles. Participle adjectives. And we must use. For example, you should understand clearly. Some participles can be used as adjective, present participle or past participle. We usually use past participle adjectives to talk about how someone or feels. Someone feels. How did he feel? To talk about the person's things or state situations which has caused the feeling. For example, I am boring. He is different from I am bored. I am boring is different from I am bored. I am boring is different from I am bored means both are adjectives. This is the present participle, this is the past participle. Bored, boring. Boring means puzzled. And I am boring. I am boring means I cause other people to be bored. That is meaning. Other people bored. I am bored. I feel bored. Here the students were not interested in the class because the class was bored. The class was boring. That is the right answer. Class was boring. Boring should be used. Why should? Boring means it causes us we feel bored. I was bored means I was myself boring. Here the situation is the class cause to be bored. That means the answer is the right answer is the students were not interested in the lesson because it was boring. That is the right answer. Exciting and excited, confusing or confused, surprising or surprised, annoying or annoyed. Annoyed is also adjective. Annoying or some of the. I am confused. I was surprised. The movie was boring. That is the right answer. The movie was boring. It gives bore to me. The movie was boring. Not the movie was bored. That is the wrong wrong construction of the sentence. The same way, the clause was boring. It means the noun is the clause was boring. We should use the clause was boring, not bored. These are the participle, present participle, past participle adjectives. Some adjectives have been functioning as some verbs. Some verbs have been functioning. What are the verbs? Which verbs? Present participle verbs and past participle verbs. They are being used as adjectives. Based on the context, the meaning may be different. Here the context is the clause was boring. Through that, I feel like that. That is the explanation, my dear students. Okay, my dear students, I have completed in 2 parts. Part 1, 10 questions, and part 2, in 10 questions. Totally 20 questions I have explained you in detail, spotting the error. Okay, thank you everyone, each and everyone. Goodbye all of you.